Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's lesson, which will be on the volume of cylinders. A cylinder is just, think like a can of Coke. That's a cylinder. I'm sorry I'm not very good at drawing, but that's more or less what it looks like. Yeah, kind of like that. That's a cylinder, right? A can of Coke, can of Pepsi. Okay, before we cover volume of cylinders, let's review how to find the area of circles, because that's going to be important. Area of circles, the formula is area equals pi r squared, and pi, we always know, is 3.14. So if I tell you, hey, your radius is 7, find the area of the circle, you go to your formula, you replace everything inside it for what you know, so pi becomes 3.14 times r becomes 7 squared. Now remember, 7 squared is not 7 times 2, it's 7 times 7. 7 times itself 2 times. So let's rewrite it again. Area equals 3.14 times 7 times 7. Okay, 3.14 times 7 equals 153.86. Easy peasy. We're covering this because it's related to the formula for volume of cylinders. The formula for volume of cylinders is pi r squared times h. So here, let's imagine I tell you that your radius is 4. Well, you're going to go to your formula, rewrite it. Volume equals pi r squared times h. Then you're going to, in this case, let's say I told you your radius is 4 and your height is 8. Okay? Go back to your formula and rewrite it using all the details you know. Pi, obviously, is always 3.14, so that's 3.14 times 4 squared times height, h, which is 8. Okay, now remember, 4 squared is not 4 times 2, it's 4 times itself 2 times. It's 4 times 4. So, let's rewrite it. Volume equals 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 8. This is super easy. 3.14, use a calculator, times 4 times 4 times 8. Your final answer, the volume of your cylinder, is going to be 401.92. You're done. Now let's go ahead and give you a second example. For this one, I'm going to give you a drawing. So let's imagine we are drawing this cylinder. Once again, I apologize for my art. Let's say they tell you that down here your radius is 4. No, we just used 4. Let's say they tell you your radius is 3, and they tell you that your height is 9. Well, radius is 3, height is 9. Okay, let's rewrite the formula. Volume equals pi r squared times height. Let's replace everything inside it for what we already know. Pi is always 3.14, so 3.14 times r, which is 3 to the second power, times 9, which is my height. Remember, 3 squared is not 3 times 2, it's 3 times itself 2 times, so 3 times 3, yeah? Okay. Let's rewrite it again one last time. Volume equals 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 9. Now let's just use the calculator. 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 9. So my final answer should be volume equals 254.34. That's my answer. Now, some of you, I'm sure, have realized that basically the formula for the volume of a cylinder is finding the area of the circle, its base, and then multiplying that times the height. That's it. Look at it. Pi r squared is the same as pi r squared over here. The only bit that's extra is the height. That's the only extra step. You're multiplying it times the height. Let's do another example for you. We're going to do another 2 examples, and that should be enough to make sure you understand. Okay? For a circle, remember how sometimes, although your formula is area equals pi r squared, they don't give you the r, they don't give you the radius, they give you the diameter. So they could tell you, hey, your diameter is going to be 16, and they could say, find the area of the circle. Well, if the diameter is 16, you got to remember the radius is half of that. So half of 16, 16 divided by 2, is 8. Great. Now that you found the radius, you can plug it in. Pi is 3.14, so let's go. Area equals pi 3.14 times r. Remember, r is your 8, not your 16. So times r. Whoa, I have no idea what happened there. My computer is not cooperating. Okay, so area equals 3.14 times r, which is 8, squared. Okay, and remember, 8 squared is not 8 times 2, it's 8 times 8. So let's rewrite it, 3.14 times 8 times 8. All right, 3.14 times 8 times 8 equals 200.96. Boom, you're done. Now let's try some of those with the volume of a cylinder. So in this case, let's say I'm giving you this cylinder and I tell you, find me its volume. Please notice down here, the 4, the line goes from one side of the circle to another side of the circle. So that 4 is going to be your diameter. If your diameter is 4 and your radius is half of that, what's half of 4? What's 4 divided by 2? Well, it's 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then my height, obviously, is whatever is left over. So my height is going to be 7. Now let's go to the formula and let's plug everything in. First we rewrite volume equals pi r squared times height. Let's rewrite it again and plug things in. Volume equals pi 3.14 times r 2 squared times height, which is 7. Now in this case, 2 times itself 2 times is 2 times 2. So let's do volume equals 3.14 times 2 times 2 times 7. Now let's use the calculator. And my final answer should be volume equals 87.92. Boom, you just found an example with diameter. I'm going to give you one last example and we're done, okay? Let's imagine that I tell you your diameter, in this case, is 17 and your height is 5. You know that this formula does not have diameter, only radius. You find the radius by finding out what half of your diameter is. So diameter divided by 2, which is 17 divided by 2. Okay, 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. You can use a calculator for that if you need to. Voila, we're good to go. First, let's rewrite the formula. Volume equals pi r squared times height. Let's plug things in. Pi is 3.14, always. Pi is 3.14 times r, 8.5 squared, times height, which is 5. Now remember, this is not 8.5 times 2. No, it's 8.5 times 8.5. So let's rewrite it. 3.14 times 8.5 times 8.5 times 5. Let's go ahead and do it. 3.14 times 8.5 times 8.5 times 5. My final answer should be 1,134.325. And that's your volume.